So we're going to continue with Jacob's journey. So Jacob headed in the direction of his brother Esau, but he wasn't sure how Esau would receive him. So he sent messengers ahead of him and told them to tell Esau, "Your servant Jacob has been with Laban all this time, and he has cattle, donkeys, goats, and sheep, male and female servants, so that he may find favor in your eyes." So the messengers told Esau this, and then came back and told Jacob that Esau was coming to meet him with 400 of his men. Well, this terrified Jacob, and so he divided his family into two groups along with the livestock, with the theory that if Esau attacked one group, the other group could escape. And then he prayed to the Lord and reminded him of what he had promised Jacob and asked him to protect him from Esau. And then he went outside and he determined which livestock he was going to give to Esau. And then he sent servants ahead of him with the livestock, and he made plans to follow them later. And then he sent his family across the ford of Jabbok, and then he sent his possessions too, and that left him alone. And a man wrestled with Jacob until daybreak. And when he saw that he could not overpower Jacob, he touched him in the socket of his hip so that it would be wrenched when they wrestled. And he told Jacob, "Let me go, it's daybreak." And Jacob said, "I will not let you go until you bless me." And then the man asked him his name. And Jacob told him, and he said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob. You will be called Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." And so then he went up from Jacob, and Jacob called the place Peniel, because he had seen God face to face, and his life was not taken. And then when Jacob got up, he had a limp from where God had touched his hip. So then Jacob went on toward Esau, and as he approached him, he was surprised because Esau ran up to him and embraced him and kissed him, and they both started crying. And Jacob was so thrilled that Esau accepted him that he insisted that Esau keep the flocks and herds he had given him. And Esau wanted him to come home with him, but Jacob had to move slowly because he had children and nursing herds. And so Jacob went into Shechem, and he purchased land, and he built an altar to the Lord there called El Elohe Israel. Mighty is the God of Israel. And then God appeared to him and told him to go to Bethel and build an altar to him there, because that's where he appeared to him when he was fleeing from his brother Esau. So Jacob built an altar and called it El Bethel. And then God appeared to him as he came back from Paddan Aram, and God said, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. You will be called Israel. I am God Almighty. You are to be fruitful and multiply. You will become a nation and a community of nations, and kings will be among your descendants. I will give you the land I gave to Abraham and Isaac, and I will give that land to your descendants as well." So Jacob set up a pillar there, and he called that Bethel, house of God. Then Jacob and his family left from Bethel to go to Bethlehem, and Rachel was pregnant again as they traveled. and she began to give birth with difficulty, and then she started dying. And as she died, she gave birth to a son, and she named him Benoni, son of my trouble. But Jacob renamed that son Benjamin, son of my right hand. And Jacob buried her between Bethel and Bethlehem, and he set a pillar there to mark her tomb, and that pillar is still there today. And so he left, and at that time he had 12 boys, so those are the 12 tribes of Israel. And he left and reached his father Isaac, and Isaac lived until he was 180. And Jacob and Esau buried Isaac together. So that's the end of this video. Thanks. I'll see you next time. God bless you.